My name is Tunde Shofo. I've been doing Oracle for quite some time. I've been doing Oracle for quite some time. So just like I was telling during the introduction, I think last week. So what we're just going to do today is just a matter of data entry. And after the data entry, I will show you some of the configurations, because I know we have some few weeks to do this Oracle. So we're just going to do data entry for today. Now this data entry will be something similar to anybody that is familiar with HR. If you get a new hire, and in the new hire, what we normally do is when you get a new hire, you have to give them, you know their names, you have their NI, you have their date of birth, you have their marital status, you have their, maybe they're going to be employee or maybe they're going to be an agent. So you have all those nitty-gritty information about the new hire. So when you have those information, that's basically what you need to put on Oracle. So I'm just going to quickly go to Oracle and I will see. So for example, you can see some few countries. CA means Canada, UK means UK, so and the other one means US. So let me just use UK for example. So when you want to go into, when you want to enter people's details, what you do is you go to people, and it says enter and maintain. Enter and maintain means you enter their details and you maintain their details. So I'm just going to click on that, and the Java will come up. So I haven't used the system for a while, so yeah, the Java will come up and we can run. Okay, so the first thing you will get is this screen. And if you notice, this screen is got today's date. So which is what it normally does. So let's presume the employee actually is starting today. So what you need to do, this is your current effective date, is today's date. Do you want to change it? Just say no, I'm not going to change it.
Okay, so I want to create a new employee. So what I've got all the information. That's what I'm trying to put on the spreadsheet. But since you cannot see it, don't worry, that's fine. So I click on new. So when I click on new, so what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to put, I like to use this. So Smith underscore, I'll just say test. So I'll just go to say first. So first name, I can just use. Okay, I always like to use this. So the next one says. Now, in the title, these are all the options which we have at the moment. You can add more options to this. For example, if you work in Nigeria, some people could be chief, they could be engineer, they could be anything. So you can add more options. But Oracle standard, this is what you get. So this is Mr. Let me just add Mr. So things like this, I will show you where to set them up. So that's Mr. Now, prefix or suffix, nobody use it. So middle name, some people can have a middle name. They can just say Wale, something like this. So I'm adding that. So the next one, if you notice, with the moment I pick up Mr., it automatically say male. So if I put, let's say, Miss, can you see it automatically says female? So nobody needs to do this. So let me just say Mr. So because, okay, so I'll just say Mr. So that's male. So the next one says action. This employee, this guy, is he an employee or is going to be a contractor? So let me just say it's an employee. So I'm just going to click on employee. So this is the options which I have for employee. Now this is what we set up. This could be more, but employee is very, very common. So this is an employee. Foreign national or expatriate could be somebody who who's working in UK and they will go to Morocco to go and work there. So these are kind of expatriate. Foreign national could be somebody that come from Morocco to come and work in UK. So vice versa. So, but these are in-house where I'm working. This is just a kind of in-house explanation, but the main one which you need actually is just the employee. So I'm going to click on employee. So once I click on employee, then remember all this information, you have them on the spreadsheet, so you can just be moving it from spreadsheet to start putting it here. So N9, so I can just put PW 3929. At the moment I don't think it's got a validation, so I can just use anything I want. So it could be any NI, so I don't think there's any validation. So the next, and remember, anything that says yellow, that means it's mandatory. So that's why you can see yellow here, yellow there, and yellow here. So that means it is mandatory. So the date of birth is mandatory for payroll purpose. So I'm just going to put, let's say this guy was born in 1971. Now, if you notice, the moment I pick 1971, the age automatically is populated. Now, the next one says marital state. This is just a status. In the status, so if I'm going to show you the option which we have, it says civil, partnership, divorce. I mean, these are the kind of normal thing which you get. It could be more than this. I mean, I will show you where to set this up, because you might go to some specific countries. They might say, this is what we want. We don't want all this option, so you can actually add it. Let's say it's married, so I'm just going to put married. So town of birth. Now, because this is United Kingdom and this is free text, it doesn't give you, you cannot select it. So you can actually type anything you want. So if it's anything you want, you can just type it. Region of birth, just type it there. It doesn't matter, anything you want. So let me just remove that. So the next one, it says country of birth. So if it's United Kingdom, so now this one is standard. So it's got every countries all over the world. So because this is United Kingdom, I can just put United just to make it easy for me. So it says United. So you have UAE, United Kingdom, US, and any other. I don't know where this one comes from. So just put United Kingdom. Just select. So, and the next one, after I've done this, it says was the nationality. Remember, this is a country of birth. Was the nationality? So the nationality, if it's United Kingdom, so I can just put United Kingdom, or maybe Britain. Actually, I think it's going to come with Britain, but I think it says United Kingdom. I think what we have, which I've set up, let me see. Yes, actually British. Yeah. So what's the nationality? British. Some people, they can say, no, just put my nationality as United Kingdom. Just put it there for them. So nationality, British. Now for this form, I've completed this form. The next tab, which you want, it says employment. On this employment, it says what's the ethnic origin. Now this ethnic origin is Oracle standard. So anything that, let's say this guy is a black African, just put black African there, but they are not mandatory. You don't need to complete anything here at all. And most of these, to be honest, they are completely irrelevant. You don't really need them. But now when you go to a project, they must say we actually want it. NI multiple assignments or PAYE, they must say they actually want it. Then you just complete it for them. So if not, they're completely irrelevant. So the next one says office details. This office details, the only one which you actually want, the only thing which you actually want is this one, the email address. The reason why you need this email address is when somebody, their payslip will go to their email address, or their payslip goes to this location. You can actually add their address here, or their email address. So normally we always use the email address, so that their payslip goes to their email address. So I'm just going to use Smith underscore test at let me say gmail.com. So, but most of the time, this email address will be given to you by the IT department, because when you do onboarding, they will automatically provide this specific email address which the new hire will have. I'm just using this as a kind of test. So basically, this might be auto-populated, or the IT department might say this will be the format for this new hire's email address, and you just populate it here for yourself. So that's, to be honest, for here, that's the only thing you need for now. So the applicants tab, you don't need anything here, so just ignore it. For the name, now this for the name, so this is where, this is a free text. This is where I'm saying, for example, if somebody can say I'm a chief in Nigeria, just put chief there. So their preferred name could be Mike, just like somebody could be here, they could be Michael, their first name could be Michael on their birth certificate, but in their place of work they will need to be called as Mike, so you can just put Mike there. Previous last name, if that's relevant, just put it there. It doesn't make any difference. So the next one which you need here is others. Now a lot of things here are completely irrelevant. You don't need them. So this is just a kind of work schedule. This is Oracle standard. You don't need this. It's completely irrelevant for now. So full-time, this is just a free text. You don't need anything here. So let's just ignore everything that is here. So the next one is benefits. The benefits, this is the only thing that is relevant on this page, will be the adjusted service date or the date hired. If you notice, this guy was employed today. Automatically, the date first hired is today's date, and the latest start date is today's date. Presumably, this guy has actually worked in your place of work before. That means if he has worked maybe 10 years ago, and he was terminated 10 years ago, and he came back. If he comes back, so 10 years ago, you can just say 12th of June, let's say 2009. Sorry, 2009. So that's the kind of adjusted service date. That means this guy has been here before. But if he has not been here, if it's a new hire, just ignore that, so you don't need it. So adjusted service days is only for somebody who has been in the company before and they come back, or they keep on going on and off and on and off. So you can just add the adjusted service date. So that's to be honest, on this page, that's all you need. So once you are completed with this, so you can just do save. Remember, there's nothing here for now. There's no employee number, so you just to save. Now for you to save is just this yellow. So this is yellow, so just save. So once it's rolling, that means it's thinking. So that means it's gonna save. No, this system is very slow today. Sorry, still thinking. Oh my God, this system is slow. So once this one's saved, the next thing we need to do is just to go to the address. So once you have the address for the employee, so you give them the address. If they have their phone number, so in case you're going to give them a phone number, so maybe a business phone, you had it, and if they have their personal phone, you had it as well. But the main work here is actually the assignment. So and that's what I need. That's where I need to go. So I'm just waiting for this to save, but it's taking a long time. Now, based on what I mentioned, this is just a data entry which we're doing. Normally, I don't do this because this is just for people in HR to do. So, but it's better for you to know if you're going to do some configuration. It's better for you to know where it's going to end. So this is where, for example, somebody actually designed this, and that's what I will teach you how to do this, so that you can see, okay, this is what I'm actually done, and this is the last result. This is somebody's last result, and that's what I'm using at the moment. So normally I always do the config more than doing data entry, but it's always good for you guys to understand how the data entry works. Oh my God, this is very slow. Okay, oh finally, thank God. Okay, so after you've completed it, if you notice, the employee number automatically comes up. The next thing is to go to the address. Now it says United Kingdom, so just click on this yellow, and if you notice, they are all mandatory. So for this, anything that mandatory is what I'm just going to use. So I'm just going to say 10 or road. If you want, you can put line 2. If you want, you can put line 3. Town. This is free text, so I can just say something like I don't know, London. County. there's a lot of county here, so let me just look at the options. So these are the normal counties, so which most of you are familiar with. So let me just put Yorkshire. It doesn't make any difference to me. So what's the postcode? I can just put the 23RT. Doesn't make any difference. So what's the telephone? Now, just ignore this telephone number. This is standard. We don't need this. I will tell you where to put the telephone number. So once you're completed with this, so just click on OK. Now it's saying, okay, what is the type of address you've got? So the type, so you've got some few options. Is it international? Is it secondary address? Is it primary? Most of the time it's always primary because that's where the employee lives. So then you automatically tick the primary and you just click on the yellow and save. So I hope this one will be faster. Okay, so once you've completed with the address, you go to phone. So it's got some options for the phone. We can just add two. So it says business, home, and others kind of options. So work phone, and it's got personal mobile. So if it's personal mobile, I can just say 09, then I can just put it. There's no validation, so just keep on going. So if I want to add more, I can just put business. So 01, so just put anything you want. So there's no validation, and once you've done, just save. Then the next one is okay, actually there's more. So before I go to assignment, there's a lot of options here, and on this option, the main one which you actually need will be, for now, for example, if I want to terminate the employee, you go to end the employment here. If I want to add contact, which is very important, for example, just for beneficiary purpose, so contacts, because this guy is married, so I can just put the wife's name, let's say underscore test. So this one, I can just put Linda. So the contacts, what I need to do here is, okay, sorry, I put title, so let's say Mrs. Automatically it says female. So the next one is here, so it gives me a relationship. So what's the relationship with the so it's a spouse. From what date? From this date. And once I'm done, I'm happy with it, I can just save. So the contact is very important. If I want to add more just for beneficiary purpose, I can just add more. So I click on this green button. So I can just, in case this guy want to add his child, sorry, and the next one is to just say I can just say Ayo. So is it Mr.? Yeah, it's a boy. Automatically it says male, so it says what's the relationship. I can just say child, yeah, and save. That yellow for save. Yeah, so I'm done with this one. So the next one I need to do, let me just see in case there's more, because basically anything you need to do here is based on any information you have. For example, if the guy is disability, you can click on disability. If I'm just looking at if he's got medical assessment, you can add this. But to be honest, because it's a new hire, you don't need all this information for now. But the main information which you need is actually the contacts. So let me say we're done with this for now, so I can just leave that. So the next one which you need is this extra information, but this might not be necessary for now because it's a new hire. Because for a new hire, there's something called global work permit. In the global work permit, I think we have yeah. So in case this guy is not a citizen or he's got some form of permit, you can add the permit here. So if it's got some, I think if it's based on a project, you can add the project details here. Let me see if I can get more details. So there's something here which got. Oh, this is got to do with benefits. Okay, so for a first time, because it's a new hire, so you might not need most of this information. But if this person has got work permits issue or work permits, you can just add the information. Or if the new hiring is based on a project, you can add it on this project. So, but for now, you don't need this. So the next one is just the assignment. This is where this guy is actually going to work. So with this assignment, let me see if I can get some info, because this was done by somebody else. I want to see if there's info. Okay, there's some information. Now, this information, this PU, is got to do with the department which they're actually going to work. Now, in where I'm working, we always call it PU, but the one I'm going to teach you, I'm not going to use PU. I'm just going to use something else. So, which will be like accounting department, or maybe HR department. It could be any form of department. But for now, because we're just doing a data entry, I can just use this for now. So I can just say UK London. So let's just use that. So when it gets here, it says correction or updates. Just always use correction. Always use correction. That's the main thing. So now this people group, just ignore this for now. I will teach, because based on this people group is coming from here. I will teach you what to do later, but not today. So this is completely different. This has got to do with KFF. So I will teach you what to do later. Now the next one says a job. Now this job, if you notice, we can see job and we can see position. Now, when it comes to job is always kind of generic. While position is well, one is generic, while one is kind of local. Now, if I mean generics, if somebody tells you, "Oh, I'm working in HR," so basically they can say, "What kind of job are you doing in HR?" Or, "I'm an HR assistant." So one is specific and one is actually generic. So most of the time, this is always generic. So this is kind of HR, not HR assistant. While position is like, okay, what is the specific position within the job? So this will be like HR assistant or account personnel. So so like an accountant, which we have a kind of another word which kind of just like HR assistant, something like that. So that will be the position. But here it will kind of be like an HR. So that's what the job is all about. But for here, I'm not sure what it was actually set up. What was actually set up would be kind of, let me just put woman, find. Oh, okay, yeah, there's human resources. If you notice, this would not make kind of sense to you. But if I go here, but at the moment, based on what we set up here, we are not using position, so you will not see anything here at all. So we're not using position. I will show you where we're actually using position. So it's actually called DFF. So I will show you. So if somebody is on HR, so you can actually say HR assistant. I will show you where to add it. But for here, you can just see human resources. The same thing, you see something like accountant. So let me see if I put accounts. So can you see? You can just say it's kind of generic. So I'll just put accountant. It does, for example, it doesn't really make sense. So, but that's the code which we actually use where I'm working. So that's fine. So the next one is grade. I'm not sure if there's any grade set up here. If there's no grade, I will show you how to set up grade. Oh, there is some grades. Now, some of this grade might not make any sense to you, but some of this grade is actually, if somebody is on, let's say, £30,000 up to, is in between £20,000 up to £30,000. So this grade will actually, there's something called grade rates. So it will actually say, yeah, this guy is actually between, let's say this guy will be entitled to £23,000. So it will be under this this grade. So I will show you how to set this up on the grade rates. So sorry, I'm being mindful of time now. So the next one is location. Location, because this is kind of generic, I can just put UK location. So if I just type in UK and I put tab, if you notice, it's giving me a lot of UK location. So I can just say it doesn't make any difference. I can just select any location. So if I'm going to teach you how to do location, I'll show you how to set it up so that you can set up yours. For now, I'm just using a kind of generic setup for now. If you notice, the next one says payroll. Payroll we have to do with where the employee will be paid. So, and also where all their pays will be met anyway. So for example, the payroll we have here, if I just type in UK, so these are some of the payrolls which we have at the moment. So some of them will not make sense to you, but if you notice, some are weekly. If some people are being paid weekly, so you select weekly. If they're being paid monthly, which is very common, you select monthly. So, and I believe nobody's paid yearly. Everybody needs their money on a monthly basis, so just select one. So I'm just, but for the one we're gonna do next week, hopefully I will set up one where you can actually select yours instead of having a lot of generic one. If you notice, it says assignments. Sorry, the status says active assignments. So this is Oracle standard. So if I select some of the options which we have, it's got LOA means leave of absence. It's got a lot of options, but what you really need for yours is actually active assignment, which automatically defaults on active assignments. Vacancy, this is, for example, if I'm using Talio, I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with Talio. If I'm doing this new hire using Talio, the moment you submit and every onboarding is completed, there's always a code. That code will come to this vacancy. So, and it automatically populates everything I'm doing. Now I'm doing a manual entry, but if I'm using Talio, everything I need, everything I've been doing would have been populated in Talio. The moment I press submit in Talio, and the moment every onboarding, which is IT onboarding, a lot of onboarding has been completed, the moment the concurrent program has been run, it automatically populates everything I've been doing manually here, and it automatically gives me a code, and there's a code that automatically comes here that says vacancy. But at the moment I'm doing manual entry, so for this course I'm not going to use Talio anyway, because that's another ball game entirely. So we're just going to do manual entry and also configuration. So basically this, if you notice, is grayed out because it automatically comes from Talio, so we don't need this for this manual entry. So the next one is, if you notice, the assignment number. The assignment number will be the same with this employee number, so it's always the same. So you don't need to do anything on that one. The next one, it says assignment category. This assignment category, I can give you some of the options which we have. It says, is it an agency? Is it a foreign national? Is it a full-time regular? Is it a full-time temporary? Is it part-time regular? Part-time temporal? So if you notice, self-employed, so it's got a lot of options. I can show you where to set all this up, but for now this is all we have for this setup. So because it's a full-time, I can just say full-time regular. So that's what we normally use. Now it says staff here, just ignore this. This is always used in US, so just ignore it. So but it automatically defaults to staff, because what staff means, this is a permanent employee. That's what it automatically means. Now the next one says salary information. This salary information is actually what the salary information does is it works hand in hand with payroll. So this is also got to do with salary. So I will show you what it does. So for now I can just pick up any option I want. So let's presume this guy is going to be working 40 hours a week, or it could be 39 hours a week. So if you notice, there's so many, so, and I can select any one I want. So let me say 40 hours a week. So that's 40 hours a week. So here it's saying who's the supervisor. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he's got my name there. So let me just say shuffle order. Oh no, he hasn't got my name. Okay, I don't think this is really mandatory. Let me see if I can pick up any name. Okay, so let me just select anybody. So probation, because this is a new guy and it's a new hire, so it says probation. So the probation will be next 6 months. So the next probation, it says, and the probation will end on the 11th of December. So, and it says if this guy is going to leave, it needs to give us 1 month notice. It can't just leave just like that. So it needs to give us 1 month notice. So this is not mandatory, but you can just complete it if you want. So standard condition. This standard condition would be how many hours would this guy work, including break, do you call it break or lunchtime? So this guy is going to be working 40 hours per week. So if you notice, the frequency says how many weeks. So it says 40 hours a day or 40 hours per hour, but it's always a week. So this guy, so we always use frequency of week. So this guy is saying, is he a salaried guy or is he working on hourly basis? No, it is a salaried guy because he's going to be getting paid every month. So salaried guy. So this one, it says how many, when is going to be coming to work in the morning, when is going to finish. So this guy is going to work, let's say 0900 to 17, so which is 9 to 5. This is not mandatory, but I just add it there anyway. So the next one says statutory. We don't need this. So because I'm mindful of time, people can kind of ask questions. So I will soon round up. So once you do this, the next one says GL. Now GL means this has got to do with costing. So I will show you how to do that later, maybe next week. But for now, I can just pick up anything I want. So if I pick up C, so it gives me a lot of costing. I can just say Jacobs Engineering, or I can just pick up any information I want. I can just pick up that one. So it's a for example, this two is got to do with costing. So I can just pick up 000. Don't worry, this has got to do with costing and between finance and payroll. So we can just, so I'm just working on the mandatory one. So legacy legacy grade. So we don't need this for now, so I can just pick up anything I want. Home location. This home location, I can pick up the same location, which I've got here. So I can just pick up UK. I can pick up anything I want for now. So HR region, you don't worry about this. We don't need this for yours. So I can just pick up anything I want. So, okay, this one hasn't got, yeah, the one I'm looking for. Remember, I said this is an accountant. So here I can just put accounts assistant, something like this, or accounts admin. So this is where the specific will come in. So accounts administrator, something like this. So once I'm happy, I can just say okay. So looking at this, I've finished this now. I can just so next week I can just show you this pay method. I can show you budget. I can show you entries, and I will show today. I'll show you salary. So I'll quickly go to salary. So once I'm happy with this screen, I can just say save. So it says, do you want to use this location? Do I want to use this location? I can just say no or yes. I can just say no, just so that it doesn't push me somewhere else. Normally I should say yes, but I can just put no for now. Sorry, if you have any question, please could you just type it? I don't know how you do your question. Could you just quickly type it so that I can answer the question? I've got only 5 more minutes. So if you notice, it says I've saved it. It says transaction complete, 1 record applied and saved. The next thing I want to quickly show you is go to salary. So this salary, this is the new guy. And if you notice, there's nothing here. For me to add salary, I can just go to add salary. And it says from today's day, so I can just click on this box. Because it started today, so I can just say from today. And that was a salary, and I can just put anything I want. It doesn't make any difference. And remember, this is annual, so whatever I want. And the next one says, was it a change, was the reason? These are the options we have. Because it's a new hire, so I can just click on new hire. There's nothing else I need to do here. Then just to save, I can just click on apply. Click on apply again. Oh, there's another salary proposal. There's another one that starts with these dates. Oh, salary proposal. Oh God. Sorry, let me just change it. I don't think it likes my date. Okay. Apply. Ah, kicks me out. I don't think it likes my dates. Okay, let me just salary. Okay, let me do propose. I'll see what it says. Oh no, it doesn't like. There's a setup which they've done here, which is not correct. So that's why it errors out. Oh, actually, I think I've done it already. Oh, sorry, I've done it already. That's why. Okay, So, for example, what I've done, if I go to entries, okay, so I think because I applied twice, can you see that 222 is here? So that means my salary is correct. So if I go back to salary so that you can see what I've done, sorry, not entries, go out. So go to salary. So this is the salary which I've done. So because I've got 3 more minutes, so I will just go to any kind of question which is online. So just like I said, this is just a data entry. Normally I don't do this, but it's just for you to know, okay, how this is what HR always do, or HR data teams. This is what they normally do on a daily basis. This is what they manage. But from your perspective, you need to do the setup from the back end. Now, maybe from next week or maybe from next 2 weeks, we can start doing the configuration from the backend so that you know how to do the configuration. But this is just a data entry, which I don't normally do, but it's better for you to understand how it works from the front end so that when you go to the backend, you'll be able to understand how it works. Okay, so is there any question? I'm not seeing here. She says, please entering all your data. Where did you get all? That's what I'm going to show you next week. So that's where we're going to do a lot of data, all the data from the back end I'm going to show you. It says also as a job role, would the job title be data entry job title? Well, all this I'm going to show you next week from the back end. I'm going to show you next week. The next one says from Oladi, it says, can you tell us about the source of the metadata for the config? Source of the metadata. I think that's also got to do with all the data which I was showing you. So I can show you that next week as well. It says, is there any software for us to use? Now, this software you're talking of, would you have access to Oracle? I will try to fix something by next week. I know Brother Deji has been on my neck on that one. So hopefully by next week, I will give a lot of people login. And also, but the main issue we have is just the Java, but we'll try as much as possible to make sure you guys have the correct Java and you can log in for testing purposes. Now, so what would the job role be? Would this be called in Oracle ACM administrator? What I'm just doing is just a data entry. So it's just for people, just data entry role. That's what I'm doing now. But when it comes to configuration, that will just be Oracle HCM consultant or Oracle BA. It could be BA. It could be anything. So that's where the money is anyway. Of course, data entry, they don't get that much, but they still get something anyway. So, and it says somebody says, what does ACM stands for? It says it's human capital management. The reason why we have human capital, normally they call it HR before, but they now call it ACM because it's a combination of many modules. So that's why they call it human capital management, because it's got Talio, it's got HR, it's got payroll, it's got learning management, it's got performance management, talent management. So there's so many modules within ACM. That's why they call it ACM. Oh, actually, somebody has actually mentioned it. Yeah, human capital management. I think those are my questions, and I think I'm taking somebody else's time now. So any more question, let me know. Then, yeah, I think